In addition to new bloodshed in Syria and Afghanistan, today also brought a strong new warning against military action targeting Iran. In a newspaper editorial, the Russian Prime Minister, Vladimir Putin, predicts the consequences of a military strike against Iran would be disastrous. Michigan Republican Congressman Mike Rogers is the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, and he's just back from a trip to Israel last week. Mr. Chairman, let's try to go through some of these hot spots in the region quickly because they are many. You were in Israel. There are some people in the United States, including high up in the Obama administration, who think the Israeli prime minister is going to wait maybe until May, and then if he does not see Iran backing down, he will launch a preemptive strike. Did you get that sense?
Well, I got the sense that Israel is incredibly serious about a strike on their nuclear weapons program. You know, they have a very different set of eyes on this problem. One is the fact that they've got problems on their southern border. Egypt is growing unpredictable. Hamas is getting stronger and more weaponized. And you have Hezbollah on their northern border that Iran is supplying pretty advanced weapons to. Their argument is if that nuclear umbrella comes over Iran, it is so destabilizing and dangerous to their very existence, let alone a Middle East arms race, a nuclear arms race in the Middle East, that they're going to have to do something. So if you look at it through their perspective, they've got a hard choice to make here.
And did you try to disabuse them of their perspective at all? The president's top military commander, the country's top military commander, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, told Fareed Zakaria about a week ago, he said, look, it wouldn't be prudent. They need to wait. They need to give sanctions more time. Do you think the prime minister of Israel would do this, say, in a month or two, regardless of what the United States thinks?
I think that they believe, it's their calculus, that the administration, when they say, because of those public comments, that they should wait and do other things, is not serious about a real military consequence to Iran moving forward with its nuclear program. So given that, I think they believe they're going to have to make a decision based on what's good for their national security interests, aside from what they think might be good for the United States. So I do think that they believe they're going to have to make a decision on their own, given the current posture of the United States administration. And that's where we were hoping to pull this thing together. I think this would be better done with rolled up sanctions, really tighten them up fast, don't wait till July, crank everything down, continue to put pressure on them, and have a real option of military consequence for Iran. They don't believe it, Iran, I mean, and neither does Israel. We've got to change that equation if we're going to be, I think, have an impact on Iran backing down from their nuclear weapon program.
How and what should the United States do to change the equation in Syria? Should the United States, for example, now support arming the opposition? Do you have any concerns about that? Do you think, I think you've said in the past, you're worried there could be some al-Qaeda influence there?
I do. We just don't have a good handle on who those rebels are. We do know, we have very credible information that al-Qaeda has been working through some of those rebel groups in Syria. You don't want to go in and arm the wrong people. We've been down that road before. And it just didn't work out all that well for us. I'd walk very slowly. I think there are some options, though, John. We can empower the Arab League to do more. There's some talk of maybe establishing a safe haven somewhere in the country through the Arab League to give a little breathing room so that people could understand who the rebels are, could understand the way forward in a way that doesn't jeopardize the stability of the region and continues to put pressure on the Assad regime. I think all of that is possible. The U.S. needs to be much more aggressive, I think, through the Arab League. I think if we do that, we could have some very real success there.
Mr. Chairman, let me bring you home to domestic politics. Your state's primary is tomorrow. That's the state of Michigan. Mitt Romney was raised there. His dad is the former governor, was a big auto CEO. And yet, in what should be Mitt Romney's home turf, we have a dead heat tonight going into tomorrow's primary in a must-win state for him. You're a Romney guy. What's this problem?
Well, you know, again, this has been a long primary, and it's been Republican on Republican viciousness since the beginning. So the only thing the public gets a chance to hear right now is why one Republican doesn't like another Republican. Never really good for us in the long run. But what's happening is his economic message in Michigan. Remember, this is a state that lost 1 million manufacturing jobs over the last decade. I mean, it has been absolutely devastating for our state. He has a very strong economic issue, and that's why I think you're seeing the polls turn a little bit toward Romney. When people show up to vote, John, I think they're going to vote on who they believe can turn the economy around. And I think most of them can see that Mitt Romney's plan will do just that.
We'll track those results tomorrow. Chairman, appreciate your time tonight on those world issues as well as your home state. Thank you.